Welcome back to a series of questionable conceptual ideas in which I want to bring up just kind of general philosophical ideas that come up throughout my day, present them, maybe add a little bit of my insight on them, and then see if anyone's interested in discussing about them. Because I like to argue just to argue. I like to talk just to talk, and I think there are other people out there who also might. So here you go. First thing today. Can you have pride without comparison? This can be any sort of pride, self-pride, pride for others, that sort of thing. Can that even exist fundamentally without an underlying idea of comparison? Because if we look at it in a few ways, pride for others, you're proud of what they've achieved. You're comparing them to a past version of themselves. Pride for yourself, the same thing. You are comparing to a past version of yourself and therefore feel better from that comparison because you've identified qualities that elevate you now above past you. If we were to take comparing two people and say that one should be more proud than the other, or one has more pridefulness than the other because of that comparison, that's another example where because there is a comparative effect happening, pride has been generated. And that's not to say it's necessary. Comparison won't always drive pride. But I don't know if you can have pride without a contrast, something to set a standard that then is exceeded or fallen behind on. What I do think is interesting to consider is, I guess, how we conceptualize pride then. Because there's kind of the two areas of pride. We have very self-motivating, self-glorifying pride of standing up for yourself and asserting who you are. And then there's the kind of more classic biblical pride of, pride, one of the 7 deadly sins, terrible thing, evils of mankind. And I think pride is really unique in that sense. It's both a sin and a virtue, if that can make sense. Because mapping pride in its nebulous and vitriolic sense onto a positive emotion, we get confidence. And confidence is overwhelmingly praised as this virtue of really any sort of human communication. The greatest people are confident. We should all aspire to be confident. We need to sound confident, be confident, act confidently. And the only way we can achieve that is through having pride in ourselves, or at least faking it until we really build up that pride over time, right? So if we look at it that way, I think it's interesting that pride and or confidence, if we were to compare the two in that sense, are all about comparison. And really, they're the same thing at the end of the day. It's just in how we really spin that and to what ends that comparison is used. It becomes the means for whatever vehicle of emotion we put onto it, because that's something where pride can become a weapon, a bludgeoning tool against another, or it can be this beautiful rising factor that helps elevate people to standards that they want to achieve, standards they set for themselves, that sort of thing. So overall, I just think that's just really interesting, Can we have pride without comparison? Maybe. I'm sure there's arguments out there, and that's why I'm posing this question. Because I want to know if there are arguments out there to defend that point of view that anyone can think of, or additional, ideas on this interplay between pride and comparison, and how that functions in an everyday sense, because I think that's also pretty interesting. I don't know. That's about it. Stay curious out there. Stay thinking. Let me know if you have any more thoughts on the matter. Anything I missed. Anything I got wrong, of course. Always willing to accept my blunders. And that's about it. I'll see you later.